Hi, my name's Harley Gagnon, and you're watching Nitty Gritty. With me, I have Luke Mitchell from Mesa Motorsports. So Luke, what is Mesa Motorsports?
Basically, we're just like a club of engineers and a couple other disciplines of students, and we get together. We compete in this design series called Formula SAE. SAE stands for the Society of Automotive Engineers, and so it's a society of engineers, obviously, that you can be part of when you're in the professional world. But as students, they get some of us together, and it's a bunch of colleges throughout the world. We compete against 120 teams, and then we basically build a race car and go compete engineering-wise and race-wise.
Okay, nice. So what is your position and what are you responsible for?
So I have a couple of different positions. I'm the vice president, and so for that, that just means that I work on like the campus relations. Deal with student life and stuff like that. And then I'm also the lead design engineer for the chassis team this year. So that means that I manage a couple of different guys, and we work on the car's frame.
Nice. So why are you guys building a race car, or why do you guys build race cars?
So we're just trying to get more engineering experience. It's really good exposure for ourselves with other companies, and then for the school, and it gives us practice to further our abilities as engineers.
For sure. Awesome. So what do you see yourself doing in the future with this knowledge?
Well, I really want to go into the automotive industry, and I know a lot of the guys on the team share that same passion. But more than that, we're just trying to get practice applying math outside of the classroom, doing some machining, some assembly, and basically feeling what the whole dynamic is like to work with the team. And it's a really good piece of experience.
That's awesome. So how much or how many members are a part of a team per car? Is it everyone or certain people?
Yeah, so we just got the one car, and we've got roughly 35 active members that work on it, and we divide into different sub-teams. So once these students come to the meeting, we'll divide into 5 or 6 different sub-teams, ranging from like vehicle integration, being like ergonomics and stuff like that, to drivetrain, to chassis, steering, suspension, body, things like that.
That sounds awesome. So what is your guys' favorite build so far?
I've only participated in the chassis part of it, so I'd have to say I really liked assembling our jig for welding the chassis. But I know that the body molding process is really cool, and assembling the engine and all those things it's all really cool.
Right. That, especially coming from me, that sounds so
Yeah.
cool. So what do you think makes up a good race car? What would that entail?
You can have really good math, really fast motors, really fast drivers, and all your components are working well. But to be honest, it's about who can apply their engineering the best, who can show that they've put in the hours and put on paper their design and then put it in real life. And so I think teamwork is really important for all of us, and just working as hard as we can.
Right. Teamwork is definitely important. So how many hours would you say you guys spend on a project?
So per season, I'd say it's probably about 2,200 hours for the whole team, man hours, and then it's about 600 man hours a person, so it's a lot of time.
That's awesome. So speaking on competitions, where do you guys compete? Is it one place every year?
Yeah, so we've got what's called Formula SAE Michigan, and that is a competition every May in Brooklyn, Michigan. We go and compete against 120 other teams from around the world, and that's the biggest competition in the United States. There's another one in Lincoln, Nebraska, which we have gone to, and that's in July. But we focus mainly on the Michigan one. It's a larger competition. We want to be part of that.
That's
larger
awesome. That's
audience.
awesome. So how do you guys fund these competitions? Any fundraisers or anything like that?
Yeah, we do all sorts of things. We get a little bit of money from the school. We do some fundraisers at local restaurants, the drag strip, things like that. We have sponsorships. That's probably our biggest source of income is we go out and find companies in the Grand Valley who are willing to support our team for the betterment of the engineers. And so they'll exchange either a part service or a dollar amount for a logo on the car or on the back of our t-shirts or something.
Awesome, awesome. That sounds amazing. And are you guys active with the community here in Grand Junction?
Yeah, so we like to do those events. We like to talk to, all of our supporters. When we go out to events, there's always people that say, yeah, I saw you 3 years ago in the homecoming parade. Your guys' car has come a long way. And so it's really cool to see people like that, especially like when kids come to Chick-fil-A or Chipotle, we let them sit in the car, so then they get to have a little taste of what it's like to be a race car driver. And so, what little kid doesn't want to be a race car driver?
Right, you got that right. That sounds so awesome. So, how is it being, your position? How would you want to? I don't know. How would you want to get your club to be bigger, or like add more members?
Yeah. So we're always working, and it's a lot of work. There's always a list of things to be done in the car, and so the more members we have, the better. I also think that it's a great area for engineers to improve on their practice. I think that it's the best thing that you can do as an engineering student by far. And so we go to all the interest days here at Colorado Mesa and try to just tell engineers or ask engineers to come join us. But I think that it just boils down to people need to, or our engineering students need to have the drive in themselves to come out and work on their major.
For sure, that's awesome, and I know engineering is probably not an easy major, so that's definitely getting your foot in and getting some experience. That'd be really helpful. And I know there's other guys a part of your team. Do you know what they are in particular?
Yeah, we've got some computer science majors that have worked on like the electronics. I think now we've got some mechanicals that are switching over to the computer engineering and the electrical engineering, maybe just from their interest standpoint. But in the past, we've had some graphic media majors. We've had some business majors do like the business presentations, and just all sorts of people. There's some civil engineers that work on structures and stuff like that. But it's really open to whoever has a love for cars and wants to apply that knowledge that they have.
Right, that's awesome. So if someone is interested or would be to, want to join, where could they find you guys?
So we are on Facebook and on Instagram. It's at Mesa Motorsports. You can just shoot us a message, or you'll find our contact information there. And I know that a bunch of our members are always at Confluence at the engineering building, and so you can just come down and look for someone wearing a shirt and talk to one of us, because we'd love to have you.
That's awesome. So would you say you mostly spend your time working on these race cars, or?
Oh yeah. A lot of the time is spent both in the meetings talking about design, our business presentation, or manufacturing, like what needs to be done. Anytime really outside of the meeting is testing. We do a little bit of like the fundraising stuff, but that's still far between. Most of it is, 40 hours a week working on the race car.
Wow,
Yeah.
That's awesome. And, being that it takes up so much of your time, I'm pretty sure you must love it though, right?
Oh yeah, it doesn't get better. I mean, you will get to work on a race car, you get to work with your hands, use the math, and then you go to competition and you see 119 other schools from all over the country. You get to talk to them, learn from them. You meet with Chevy, Ford, Tesla. They're all there giving jobs, and then thousands of people come to watch because it's a big event in Brooklyn, Michigan. And so it's just really cool to be inside the Michigan International Speedway and see that whole atmosphere.
That's awesome. Oh my gosh, I didn't know that all those big time, companies go there. So that's super awesome, because you see that and you're like, you want to be there someday. So that's super awesome. What would you say is your biggest learning experience when you leave competitions?
It really happens after usually the design report. We have a formal and informal design report where a couple of professional engineers will go and judge how we did, and I think that they give us really good insight on what we need to do next year to improve.
That's awesome, Luke. Well, we're so glad to have you here again on Nitty Gritty, and that's all we have for you.
Thank you for having me.
Stay tuned, and we'll catch you guys next time.